Hello everyone, peace of Christ to all. In this video, we will show you how we expose one more of the deception of Muslims regarding scientific amazing miracles in the Quran. First this guy he says this book there's no way it's changed. When the fact there is many Muslims and we can show tons of proofs that even there's other Qurans even did not start with Bismillah. And Bismillah was something added to the Quran, is not part of the Quran, because it doesn't make sense that Allah says in the name of Allah when He is the one who is talking. However, let us focus on what is in the Quran today, and let us see how we can prove that Muslims they are deceived and they deceive others. This guy here is trying to make a statement. Actually, he's copying Rashad Khalifa, who claimed to be a prophet of Allah or messenger of Allah, and the Muslims killed him for such a claim. He paid his life for it because it's a lie, and even the Muslim did not let it go. However, let us prove this lie again in different way. The Muslims killed him because he in order to complete the number 19 together in the Quran, he had to delete some verses. This is why the Muslims decided to kill him, because his Quran is different from the Quran they have. However, in here we prove the deception in different way. You see in the verse number 1 he says that the first verse is equal to number 19. The fact this is absolutely fabrication. We start from the first word. The first word in the Quran is Bismillah. Bism, Allah, which is two words. Bism, which means in the name. Allah is Allah, right? So Bism actually in here it appears as a 3 letters, but the fact Bism is a 4 letters. There's an alif here is deleted. So why he did not count it, I don't blame him, because the Muslims, when they wrote their Quran, they are trying to make it easier to pronounce, so they took off the letter A. Otherwise, it is Bismillah, walaysa, not in the name, or Bism Allah. So it is just to make it a light in speech. And just to prove that I'm not the one that's coming with this, this is the official website of one of the biggest mullahs for the potatoes, the Abdul. His name is Al-Sha'rawi, very well famous. He attacked Christianity always. He said in here, he's saying, and the alif from the word bism deleted for enlightening the pronunciation. So there is an alif there, it is deleted. So the Quran is not really coming the way they are, because remember the Quran was given to them in Arabic as it is, not in Arabic as written today, which means if they make it enlightened by taking the alif, the letter A out, that is not what the Quran, still the Quran says the word bi-ism, not bism. So for enlightening they make it this way, and this is a proof that the Muslims they have no problem to corrupt their Quran, because if Allah give it to you with alif, why you take the alif? To make it enlightened and nicer to pronunciation, that is not an excuse to change the word of your God. Alright? So he is actually the title here, Hazif Ism Alif min Ism, which means deleting the letter Alif from the word Ism, which means Bism. Here, you see, this is the correct word actually. Alright? So when you say B, you have to add Alif after it, and that would make it Bi-Ism. Ism is the original word. Bi-Ism is the word connected to B in the Quran, which means in the name. In the name. B in here, the letter B present in. Ism, the name, not sim, because if we take B from the letter, from the word, then the word will turn to be sim, and sim means sim, which means being poison. This is not what the word is about. So it is B-ism, and he is saying here, the Muslims, they took it off for enlightening the pronunciation. Now we continue to the other deception in this verse about the number 19. In here, if you look at the video, you will see that he count Ar-Rahman 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Alright? The fact, if we go in the Quran, we will find the following, that he did miss the alif after the letter Mim. This Abdul, maybe he's ignorant, like he's a prophet, he did not know that this is a letter alif here. It might look short, look funny, but this is an artistic way to enlighten the pronunciation, but the alif is there. It is Ar-Rahman with alif, not without alif. But the Muslims, you see, in Arabic, we have fatha, we have many verbs to change the sound. But there is letters who they are part of the word. And this is alif, this is not a verb to change the word pronunciation, sound. This is a letter, and this is why it's written here. It's shown actually. You can see it, very little one. You see, I'm highlighting the thing. You see it in the top of the line. That is an alif. And actually, in the same page for the same scholar, we will see again the same story. He is explaining why the name or Ar-Rahman, the alif is coming short and hardly pronounced. Here we go. Question number 7. حذف الألف قبل النون. Why we delete the alif before the letter noon in the word Ar-Rahman? You see the word, the correct word here? You know, this is the one the Muslims they come to us with the Quran. But the fact it is Ar-Rahman with alif, not the way it is here, which means it's the correct word. Let me show you the correct word as it is. This is the official government website of Saudi Arabia. This is the correct word. It's Ar-Rahman. Ar-Rahman with alif. In here, it's coming, which is correct by the way, as a short way to say the word, but still, if you want to count how many letters, you have to add the alif because the alif is still there as you see it. So if we say Ar-Rahman in the Quran, it's coming the alif very short, but you hear me pronouncing the alif, Ar-Rahman. Ar-Rahman. This is not a fatha only, it is a letter. There is an alif here. The fatha for the M, ma, and then there is a letter, Rahman. So Ar-Rahman, Ar-Rahim. So here simply there's a letter is missing from the count he did, and that made them 2 numbers missing, and that will make the number total is 21. And that goes for everything after that, you know, because the word Ar-Rahman appear many times in many verses, because the Quran simply is a book who keep repeating itself. You see the same Ar-Rahman appear in verse number 1, appear in verse number 3, in the same chapter, you know. So when Muslims they try to come with a miracle, it's not there. It's very funny, but those things they can work for those who do not speak Arabic. And I hope I made it clear for you. So, however, Ar-Rahman, if I write Ar-Rahman by the way, this way, in Arabic, if I want to write a letter, people will make fun of me because I have to write it with alif. And we can prove that easy actually. Let us see. I just type the word Ar-Rahman Ar-Rahim with alif, and you will see how many times Muslims they repeat the word as coming with alif, not without the alif, because this is right away. This is the correct way to write the word Ar-Rahman. It is, in the Quran, it just coming in a, let us say, in artistic way, and actually the A still there is not disappearing. It's still there, but they make it short, as you see here. So even they are not even taking it off. Like I can say, he have an excuse not to count the alif here because he do not know, because the alif is not appearing. We pronounce it, but we don't see it, right? But the fact it is there. If you want to say the word correctly, it is bi-ism, not bism. Bism is very false Arabic. However, the Muslim they corrupt their book just to make it nice Arabic music. They took the alif off, they make it without alif, and they make it bism. But the fact it is bi-ism, and this is the accurate and correct Arabic word. Here, they have no excuse to say there's no alif at all, because simply it's even written there in the front of their eyes. If it's short or big doesn't make any difference. This is an artistic way of writing in Arabic. But the alif is there, and I just showed you the proof from their own website. So when we see it this way, we accept it to be correct. Why? Because who dare to say the Quran is wrong? Who dare to say you cannot do that? If those people make the word bi-ism without alif, who dare to say the Quran today is wrong to write it this way? This is how read it before. Muslims they have to follow. So now it became something very normal for Muslims to accept it, but when the fact it is bi-ism, not bism. Bism is wrong. Same for Ar-Rahman. You know, who are you to make it enlightening or to make it heavy or to make it? If Allah, He made it this way, leave it this way, if this is the book of God. Secondly, when somebody says the Quran never been changed, I want to ask you, why the Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim does not appear in all over the Quran, it appears only in front of some part of the Quran. Simply because the writer of the Quran, he added this statement, in the name of Allah, the most merciful, etc. You know, because if you look at this statement at the verse here, let me go to the translation of Yusuf Ali. All right, Yusuf Ali translation. There is no point from repeating the same sentence twice. In the name of Allah, the most gracious, most merciful. Praise be to Allah, the gracious, etc. Most gracious, most merciful. Like, come on, you know. What are you talking about? And you will notice, actually, by the way, here, they corrupt the translation, because verse number 3, it doesn't say most gracious, most merciful. You know, only it says Ar-Rahman Ar-Rahim. It doesn't say most. There is no word most. It says the gracious, the merciful. Where you get the word most from? However, Muslim translation is a fabrication of the Quran. So if he just said he is the most merciful, most gracious, why he want to say it again just 2 seconds after? It doesn't make sense. Simply because this one was an addition to the Quran and never been part of the Quran. This is why, you know, we can show many proofs that other Qurans they don't agree with the Quran of Uthman, because simply one of the disagreement, they did not have in the name of Allah. Actually, they don't even have the whole chapter itself. The whole chapter is not considered as a part of the Quran. And let me show you the proof. This is a very Islamic website, and the leader of this organization, his name is Sheikh Muhammad Salih al-Munjid. You can search everywhere, actually. He says here the differentiation between the scholars about considering the chapter of Al-Fatiha or the start of Al-Fatiha is part of the Quran or not, or it is a corruption of the Quran or not. And here, actually, not only it's about that first verse, it's about all the chapter is not even considered. However, in here, let us concentrate in the first verse. They are saying here the reason some of the scholars don't consider it as part of the Quran. He says here they have differentiation of accepting it or not, because it is a part of every surah of the Quran, or it is only part of Al-Fatiha, or it is not at all. See how confused they are? Is it part of the Al-Fatiha chapter? It is part of every chapter of the Quran? Or it is not part of any at all? And then they say to you that we sure the Quran never been changed. And the funny here, he says, if it is part or not, this will not be considered as a corruption of the Quran. How is that? How, if it's part or not, you will not consider it as a corruption? Because if it's not, you just added something to the Quran which is not in the Quran. And if you are adding it for many verses in the Quran, many chapters, mean you are adding verses, words of claiming to be the word of God to the Quran everywhere, but it's not. And here, actually, it's more funny. They say that in chapter of Bara'ah, the Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim is not from the Quran, for sure. So why you add it? He said all the scholars agree that it's not part of the Quran. So why you add it? It's very funny when the Muslims try to fool us with their Quran and their numbers and their miracles, when this is a book of idiots, made for idiots, by an idiot. Thank you very much. Follow with me with more videos.